So good morning class. So welcome to the next session of solid mechanics. So today we'll be discussing Poisson's ratio and longitudinal and lateral strains. Previous class we have been discussing about stress and strain. If you remember, we have defined stress. What do we mean by stress? Load acting per unit area. Okay, load acting per unit area is defined as stress. Similarly, what was strain? Strain, it was change in length by original length, delta L by capital L. Suppose you have a body like this which is subjected to an axial pull. Okay, it is subjected to an axial pull such that it is elongating. Okay, this is the elongation. The change in length by original length, it is termed as strain, whereas the load acting per unit area is called as stress. Suppose this body is a rectangular bar. What will be the area of a rectangular bar? L into B. Suppose it is a circular bar. Pi d square by 4 is the area. So for different cross sections and applied load, you can calculate what is stress. Please close the door. Now for strain, it is change in length to original length. Okay, deformations occurred divided by total length. If you divide, you will get what is strain. Also we have discussed what is Young's modulus. Okay, Young's modulus. We said strain was directly proportional to strain was directly proportional to the stress within the elastic limit. So we got from this stress is equal to E multiplied by epsilon, where E is termed as Young's modulus, or it is also called as modulus of elasticity modulus or Young's modulus. From this relation we got E is equal to sigma by epsilon, which is stress by strain. Now if you consider a simple body like this subjected to one type of subjected to any force in one direction, Young's modulus will be equal to stress by strain. Suppose I have a body like this which is subjected to axial pull and compression like this. Both are occurring simultaneously. So you have multi-dimensional stresses developing in this. Two-dimensional stresses are there. Similarly, if you have a cube like this which is subjected to axial pull or axial compression in all the directions, in x, y and z direction. Suppose you have a cube like this. Suppose you take a duster, right? It is a rectangular cuboid. Okay, it is subjected to pull in these two directions, y direction as well as z direction. Suppose this is a type of condition, then it is called as three-dimensional stress strain condition. What we have done is this is a one-dimensional stress strain system in which you have only one-dimensional loading, or loading will be there in either x, either y, either z. Suppose you have in two-dimensional, this is a two-dimensional stress strain system. Now this is three-dimensional stress strain system. So for this type of systems we need to define a ratio called as Poisson's ratio. Okay, Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio, it is denoted by mu. Okay, so this is equal to longitudinal strain divided by it is lateral strain by longitudinal strain. So lateral strain by longitudinal strain. So we'll define what is meant by lateral strain, we'll define what is meant by longitudinal strain first. So suppose you have a body which is subjected to an axial pull like this. Okay, subjected to, this is the axial pull occurring in the body such that it is elongating. Elongation is taking place. Now this elongation is in the axis of this member. Okay, this is the axis of this member, right? this elongation is taking place parallel to this axis. So this type of strain, it is called as longitudinal strain. Okay, when loads are applied or when axial tension is applied such that the body is elongated in about the axis of the member, it is called as longitudinal strain. So write down definition for this one. Longitudinal strain, it is defined as when a body is subjected to axial tensile or axial compressive force, when a body is subjected to axial tensile or axial compressive force, comma, there is an axial deformation occurring in the body. There is an axial deformation occurring in the body. The ratio of axial deformation to original length it is called as longitudinal strain. Okay, this is called as longitudinal strain. It is the ratio of axial deformation to the original length. What do you mean by axial deformation? Deformations taking place parallel to the axis of member. Load is applied parallel to the axis of member. What is the axis of member? This is nothing but your axis of member. Okay, this is the axis of member. Deformations are taking place parallel to this axis. Load is applied parallel to this axis. So, axial deformation to original length. This is original length. This was original length, L. Okay, axial deformation to the original length, it is called as longitudinal strain. So please also draw the diagram which will make you more clear. So this will be simply equal to delta L by L. Similarly, if I apply compressive force or transverse force like this, what do you mean by transverse force? Now this is the axis of your member. I am applying compression. Okay, it is a type of transverse load. Transverse load means load which is perpendicular to the axis of the member. It is parallel here. This is perpendicular load. So load which is perpendicular, if I apply such type of loading, then the body will deform like this. This is the deformation taking place. Okay. Where you have the load, there will be the maximum deformation. Now also this deformation is perpendicular to the axis of member. Also the load applied is perpendicular to the axis of member. So this type is called as lateral strain. Lateral strain. Please write the definition. Change in breadth dimension, BREDTH. Change in breadth dimension by original dimension. Change in breadth dimension by original dimension, this is called as lateral strain. So this can be delta B by B or delta D by D. This can be changed in depth by original depth. Suppose I have a body which is like this, which is load is applied like this. Now this is deforming in this manner. So change in depth by original depth or change in breadth by original breadth, that is called as lateral strain. So Poisson's ratio gives you the ratio between lateral strain to longitudinal strain. When you apply these two types of loading simultaneously, so the body will deform horizontally as well as vertically. Okay, it will deform about both the axes. Because of the transverse load, this will be the deformation. Because of the axial load, this will be the deformation. So when this is happening, so this ratio will give you relation between longitudinal and lateral strain. Okay, when a body is subjected to transverse as well as axial loading. Okay. Now next is, we'll study the relation between stress and strain. Okay, relation between stress and strain. Stress is denoted by sigma, this is your epsilon. Okay, stress and strain. Now tell me, for a one-dimensional body, you have three types of bodies here: one-dimensional, two-dimensional and three-dimensional body. Okay, for a one-dimensional body, stress will be directly proportional to strain. You have only one type of axial pull or axial compression. Okay, so stress is directly proportional to strain, or stress is equal to E into sigma, or E is equal to stress by strain. Don't get confused in capital E and epsilon. Epsilon is strain, E is Young's modulus. Now similarly, if I have a two-dimensional system, okay, I have a two-dimensional system in which a body is subjected to axial pull okay, body is subjected to axial pull in all four directions. I am denoting it by directly sigma. Okay, this is the sigma stress in one direction, sigma 2 is stress in another direction. Now this relation will not work here because you have two stresses here. Because of the two stress, you will have two strains. Okay, so now you need to use what is Poisson's ratio. Okay, for a two-dimensional body, stress is directly proportional to strain. This condition will be there. Okay, now because of this direction force, this is an axial force, so this will cause longitudinal strain. Okay, this will cause longitudinal strain. So sigma 1 will be proportional to epsilon 1. So this will be, or E1 will be equal to sigma, or we'll write in terms of epsilon. Epsilon 1 is equal to sigma 1 by E. Will not have E1 or E2. Why? Because this is E is a property of body, right? It is Young's modulus of body, Young's modulus of steel. It won't change in another direction, so it will remain same. Sigma 1 is directly proportional to epsilon 1. Sigma 1 is equal to E times epsilon 1, or epsilon 1 is sigma 1 by E. Now tell me, what will be the lateral strain? Sigma 2. Tell me, what will be the lateral strain? You have the relation mu is equal to lateral strain by longitudinal strain. Okay, you have this relation. Now you want lateral strain, you have longitudinal strain. Substitute in this formula. Lateral strain is equal to mu times sigma by E, sigma 1 by E. Able to understand? But you need not write sigma 1 by here, you should write sigma 2. Why? Because lateral strain is occurring because of sigma 2, not because of sigma 1. So sigma 2 by E. Now, this is to be denoted with a negative sign. Always remember, when you have two forces in another directions, you need to denote one with negative sign, another with a positive sign. Why? Because two bodies occur, one is having a elongation in this direction, elongation in this direction, cannot denote in a single side of the axis. So one should be negative. So we'll write minus sigma 2 by E for this one. Sorry, this is sigma 1 only, sorry. This is sigma 1. Mu times sigma 1 by E. When I apply sigma 1, with the elongation, body is also deforming like this. Okay, with elongation, body is also deforming. So sigma 1 by E, epsilon 1 is sigma 1 by E, and because we want lateral strain, so mu times sigma 1 by E. Directly substitute here. Now we'll apply sigma 2 on the same body. Shall I erase this part? We'll apply sigma 2 now. You have the same relation, sigma 2 is directly proportional to epsilon 2. Okay. Now sigma 2 will be equal to E times epsilon 2, or sigma epsilon 2 is equal to sigma 2 by E. Sigma 2 by E. Now what is this? This is again lateral. Okay, because force is applied like this, so this will be lateral now, this will be longitudinal. So longitudinal strain will be minus mu times sigma 2 by E. Simply you need to multiply this with minus mu. Okay, if you want lateral strain, you should multiply this value with minus mu, epsilon 2. What happened? Lateral है बराबर है. This is lateral strain. Previously we calculated, okay, sorry, longitudinal. Lateral strain divided by mu. तो 1 by mu आ. Previous step we have calculated longitudinal, lateral. Lateral यही है, minus mu होगा. So we'll solve one problem based on stress, strain and Young's modulus. Write down. A rod of 150 centimeters long, 150 centimeters long, has a diameter of 20 centimeter. comma, it is subjected to an axial pull of 20 kilonewton. Determine stress, comma, strain and determine stress, strain and elongation in the rod if E is equal to 2 10 to the power of 5 Newton per millimeter square. Examination point of view, only problems are very important. You will not be asked derivations, but whereas definitions, that is Poisson's ratio and all, is very important. Okay, now you have a rod like this which is subjected to an axial pull. Okay, now this is given to you as 20 kilonewton. 20 kilonewton. Length of this rod is 150 centimeters. Okay, and diameter is given to you as 20 centimeter. So first we have the diameter, which is 20 centimeters, 200 millimeters. Okay, now if you want to calculate stress, stress will be equal to load by area. So how much is the load applied? 20 10 to the power of 3 divided by pi by 4 into 200 square. Please solve with the calculators. Pi by 4 into 200 square. Why I am multiplying this 10 power 3? Because this is in kilonewton. I want the units to be in Newton per millimeter square. These are SI units. Okay, so if you want Newton per millimeter square, so I have substituted 200 in millimeters. This should be multiplied with 10 power 3 to make it Newton. Okay, how much this is? Please solve fast. 0. Please check your answer. 20 10 power 3 divided by pi by 4 into 200 square. .636 Newton per millimeter square. Okay, 0.636 Newton per millimeter square. Now what more is asked? Also calculate strain. So what is the formula for strain? It is delta L by L. You don't know what is elongation also. So you can calculate strain also by one more formula, if you remember. Sigma by E. Okay. Stress is directly proposed. Stress is equal to E times epsilon. So epsilon will be sigma by E. So this is equal to 0.636 divided by 2 10 to the power of 5. Units are same. See here. E is Young's modulus, 2 10 to the power of 5 Newton per millimeter square, and for the stress also you have same units. What is the answer? 10 power minus 6. 3.18 10 power minus 6. No units. Okay, because this is a ratio. Strain will be a ratio. Now also asked is elongation. Elongation is denoted by delta L. So epsilon is equal to delta L by L, or delta L is equal to epsilon multiplied by length. Okay, so 3.18 into 10 power minus 6 multiplied by length is 150 centimeters, 1500 millimeters. (150 centimeters) 4.7 10 power minus 3 millimeter. Four point 77 10 power minus 3 millimeter. Next, write down next problem. A square steel bar is subjected to an axial pull of 2.5 kilonewton. The dimensions of the bar (2 centimeter by 2 centimeter). Calculate the stress induced and the elongation of the bar. You have a square bar of 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter. Now it is subjected to an axial pull of 2.5 kilonewton. (2.5 kilonewton) as the axial pull. P given to you is 2.5 kilonewton. Read the problem very carefully before solving. And also you are given side of the bar as 2 centimeters, which is equal to 20 millimeter. This is equal to 2.5 10 power 3 Newton. Always convert the units in Newton millimeter. That will be the SI units. So if you convert, it will be Newton and millimeter now. Now stress sigma is equal to load by area. So this is equal to 2.5 10 power 3 divided by 20 into 20. Square bar. Okay. Area of square bar will be 20 into 20. 6.25 Newton per millimeter square. Next, also calculate delta L. For delta L, first you require what is strain. So strain is equal to sigma by E, which is equal to 6.25 divided by 10 to the power of 5. Always remember, for a steel bar, you will not be given E value. So for E for steel, Young's modulus of steel, you remember this value, 210 to the power of 5 Newton per millimeter square. Whenever steel is mentioned, you are not given E. So for steel, E value will be 210 power 5. 3.125 10 power minus 5. Now delta L will be equal to strain multiplied by original length. So this will be 3.125 10 power minus 5 multiplied by the length of the bar. I have not given length. Take L is equal to 3 meters. So multiply with 3000. Zero point any 10 powers 10 power 7 no, this will be millimeters. Clear? This type of easy problems are very important for part B, and this will not be asked for 10 marks, this will be there for 4 or 5 marks.